So friends, welcome to our second episode of our podcast series. Today we have a very prominent guest who has an excellent background on finance. He has been the CFO for Basic Microfinance. Then probably he has been a CFO for Oak Ridge School, which is one of the most popular schools in Hyderabad and the South. And now he has started his own startup by the name of Jindal Cap. And it is an NBFC.
Yes, it's an
He is now the MD and CEO, after working and understanding the finance and the microfinance industry. He started his own venture today. This startup, we wish him all the very best.
Thank you.
With us, Mr. Ram.
Yeah, thank you, Nish, for this brief introduction. So just to give a sum up of my career, there have been 3 decades of financial services there, and I had been in multiple companies. I had worked with multiple promoters in this, 3 decades. I had always had the urge to work on my own. So time had come since the last 2 years I had been part of this startup. Basically, Sarvagya Finance is the holding company, and we recently bought a stake with Jindal Fincap NBFC. So this is a NBFC which we wanted to do what we had been doing in my earlier career. So I have now got a co-founder for me in that same startup. So basically, incidentally, we will be rolling out the first loan this week. So that's why we have operations in 2 states. So plan to come to Telangana soon. So that's the sort of background there. Actually, since we know each other for almost 1.5 decades, so some of the things which I would like to recommend startups is to have a clear plan, business plan, which most of the startup founders have, and have an eye on the cash flow. So how things one is on quarterly and yearly, have an eye on that, and then obviously at a right point of time, either equity or a hybrid instruments, what instead of diluting, they can go hybrid, and some of the services can go for debt as well. So depending upon the type of dilution the promoter would like to do, they can go for the right type of financing operations. That's what I would like to advise these startup promoters. This one key thing is have an planning, cash. These 2 things are like must for the startup promoter to keep closely.
That is exactly what we do. We help you plan your cash flow, and we also help you plan your finances so that your company runs on an auto mode. Please share your journey. How did you start your career, and how did everything work? And now you've been in key positions on various companies across India. What has been your learning on finance and your journey?
So basically, if I'm a chartered accountant by profession, so I had chosen early part of my career to be part of the financial services. Yeah, that was the sunrise industry during, say, early 90s. And I'm fortunate enough to work with multiple NBFCs. During the early days, it used to be more of consisting of hire purchase, lease, bill discounting. That used to be the biggest products in the market. And over a period of time, I was also part of the movement in India, the microfinance movement, mid-90s, started mid-90s to late 90s. Was fortunate enough to be part of the first private microfinance company called Basics at that time, and been there for a long time. And we were part of the movement in microfinance movement in India. Basically, we were having millions of customers. We were providing loans for them to basically have an economic activity, support their economic activity, and also to stabilize their cash flows wherever shortfalls were there, and ensuring that they have a proper repayment so that they are able to take higher size loans. That was one of the things which continually happened. Today it's more than 300,000 crores. The industry has become a big one. And the top 4-5 companies are listed, and they are all over 10,000 crore today. What has started trickling in a few lakhs and a crore now became a huge industry in the country. All these financial services especially have to have, giving loans is easy, as everybody knows, and ensuring proper framework for recovery and also delayed recovery, how to focus on proper MIS and using technology. And now AI also has come into picture to see what could be the predictive default in a particular market. Those also now the latest technology is being used through AI, so that we lend and ensure that the money is recovered on time as per the contract. Only ensures that the NBFC is able to earn income out of the spread, and don't lose out on the default. That's what the financial service has to focus, how to scale and ensure that the overdose doesn't spill. These two things are in control and scaling with the right type of people and technology. So it was, I've been at least in 2 companies where I started a much lower AUM. It had all gone in a big way. So I've been instrumental in part of the growth there. So it is, I found the right type of people and the right type of technology was the bedrock of scaling up. Having seen with many companies, I then dreamed to be on my own. So Sarvagya Finance is born out of that dream, and we would like to focus upon small businesses right now. So now microfinance is now very popular in the country, and we would like to look at the next stage of emerging entrepreneurs who are running small businesses, and then we would like to support them. That's how this startup is going to focus upon.
So that's what has been the journey of Mr. Ram. Mr. Ram has been, as I said, a hardcore finance professional. How does Mr. Ram manage his own personal finance, and how do you manage your whole personal finance, and how Wealth Munshi has played a key role in helping you on this area?
I'm fortunate to have Nish very early part of my career. He actually designed insurance solutions for me, which still is in place. And I remember one particular thing with Nish is, he used to plan a lot, and the time, once we agree on the time, he used to be there on time. That's one thing which I learned from him. He used to have his diary ready-made and, ensure that the time on a time what we agree upon, he will be there. So that I actually try to adopt that from you. So that had been, I think, I had seen you grow over last decade or so. I've used your solutions at different stages today, and that's I'm actually close to a sort of a superannuation in my regular career. But whatever solutions you had suggested at that time is still good to go. So I think at that time you were focusing on insurance. Beyond that, you have grown beyond the insurance and personal loans and other thing now. So since I am now not in Hyderabad, I still see the various solutions you give to various of your clients. I'm amazed at the spread you are able to give at this point of time. I really congratulate you and your team for offering a bouquet of financial services to the needs so that they don't have to go. Basically, you need to have a financial partner you can depend upon throughout your life. I think that's what I see you emerge, Wealth Munshi emerge over.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Yes, Mr. Ramchandran has seen me during my struggle days. Those days were tough. I was the only one who used to run the company. And slowly, we have grown the company. We have a very nice team now who help us across. And we operate globally. That could not have been possible without, our clients like Mr. Ram and our teammates who've been there with us, stood by us during the tough times. Ram sir, anything which you feel is the future of fintech industry, since you have been a part of this industry, you've seen the overall growth, you've seen how, things have changed from 1995, now it's 2003. So it's been a couple of decades and more where, you've seen. What changes have you seen, and what you see is the future?
Actually, as you said, mid-90s, there were identity issues, the KYC issues we had gone through those things in the early days. After the JAM Trinity has come, things have become the KYC, the banking has become much more easier. Now with the smartphone penetration in the rural areas, now the digital payment is the thing right now. So we are now finding a week or so I've been traveling to rural areas. We're seeing small payments also can be digitally paid through various payment mechanisms. So I see there's a transition happening already in this country from a cash-based to basically digital payment. And I think this penetration is going to only increase. And through Fintech, it is going to reach the unreached. So Fintech had been more focused with the urban and all. But now I'm seeing as the digitalization is spreading across to the interior pockets of the country, I see the Fintech will also follow. So I think the benefit will be getting even the customers who are residing in rural areas, which currently the penetration is lower, and it will keep improving. As the digitization improves, Fintech will follow the route. So then whatever advantage Fintech is offering, I'm sure all the customers in all the areas will also get. I think the revolution is happening. It's only a matter of time. It's not going to take a decade long. So it's going to be maybe a few years from now. It's happening, and every day it's increasing. So the UPI payment or millions of transaction value-wise, it's a billion of transaction happening every month, and it's maybe probably a few years from now.
I heard there are a lot of countries also now started to accept UPI payments, and India is among the top 3 global countries who have been in digital payments. Is that correct?
Yes, true. It's true. With a vast country like us, this digitization has taken a deep-rooted thing, and it is really revolutionizing the payment industry. So it was from a cash-based economy, we are becoming a digitized economy. So there are a lot of advantages, for the people. Once it is digitized, the record is there. There's a trail is there, and the turnover can be easily more seen once the digital records are there. So a lot of advantage, and then the GST has come in, so it is again formalizing the businesses. So one is digitization happening, creating records of the financial transaction. As we move toward the next level, the small business adopt GST as one of the things, and they are becoming formalized. So from an informal economy, we are becoming formal.
So it also reduces, the parallel cash-based economy, and things get more clear where the money is going, which is the area which attracts money and which is not, where are the payments going. So it gives a lot of clarity even to the government.
Yes.
And it also helps us to manage our finances. That's the reason Wealth Munshi is completely digital. And we have from onboarding till, the client's investments, everything can be tracked, invested, everything happens online. We don't have any
mobile on the go.
Yes, so everything is on the mobile, and also we have platforms which help you formalize all these things.
I think that's great. That's how it should be, because it is the way people would easily adopt it rather than paper-based. Those are over now. It's all just have to be electronic. Gives easy adoption for the current generation. The earlier generation, they may find it a little bit difficult, but they're also adopting. That's what.
So you have been from the NBFC business for so many years, sir. Yeah. Do you think all the villages, the other areas, the smaller cities, are they also digital as, the metros and other cities?
See, it is not as high as the metros are. Definitely has adopted much faster. As you go down the level in the villages, it is happening, but the pace is definitely not as quick as metro. But it is the things have started. It has started reaching, and COVID had helped. In fact, COVID it was destructive.
Yeah, COVID actually changed a lot of mindset.
People have gone digital during that time, and prior to that, the demon was there, and these things actually made people to move away from cash. So all these payment system helped people move. Now a small vendor, like for example, a flower vending lady today in a rural area also have payment where you can scan and pay. So it has got 3-4 payment solution providers reached penetrated the lowest level in the segment. So where typically she might be selling on a daily basis 500 to 600 rupees every day, she also has a scan and pay device with her. So means what else you need today. So that's what it has gone to that level. But yes, the level of penetration in a city versus village, so it is not as high as city, but it will happen. Because as NBFCs, we also insist that let us encourage your clients to pay digitally, so that you will have a record of your revenues. It's easy for you to basically go and declare this is my revenue. If you have in cash, it's very difficult for you to estimate. If you do the digital payment, there is a record and the revenue gets easily computable. So they also see benefit out of that, and then it is happening. Maybe the government statistics should come at district level. What is the penetration today at a country level we are able to do. At state level also there is some data, but I think as government gets the collection data, it need to go at a district level to get to know which is the top district which is highly digitized. So then there will be competition among districts and states to have the digital. Then it will happen. So I'm sure both state and central will take those route to get there.
So we are building a new digital India.
Yeah.
Where everything will be digital, everything will be open, there will be more clarity, there will be more understanding towards finances. And of course, that's where we also come into picture. We help you manage your finances digitally. So what are the challenges right now NBFCs are facing? It could be in rural areas or urban areas.
See, I'll tell you as a startup, I've been in large NBFCs where it is the time, when you're small, typically a banker would like to have a business which is a 3-year financial track record. If you're starting afresh, no question of having a 3-year track record. So we need to first sustain yourself to get a 3-year track record, and then after that you get initial handshakes will happen, and then as you prove yourself and show your track record, then more and more bankers will come. So it is time only will take you there. It cannot be crunched, because 3 years cannot be crunched in 1 year. So that's simple as that. So that is where the startup faces, because you can't crunch 3 years into 1 year. So you have to wait. You have to have patience. You have to ensure that you have your own methods to sustain yourself for first 3 years. Once you have a successful track record for 3 years, then you reach out, then automatically market will also recognize, and it become easier for you. The first 3 years is going to be the difficult period, where you need to rely on the specific accelerators, startups, focused funds. Those are the ones who recognize this. You have to basically use friends and relatives. These are the people, they will take you to there for the first few years. And then once you are there with a 3-year track record, then it is easy for another external banker to evaluate how sustainable you are, how operation has stabilized. All those things will come into picture when you approach the bank. So typically a startup faces this, any startup for that matter. The first initial few years, to show the track record, proof of concept, all those things. Even though financial services has been the ages, as a surrogate finance, I have to have a proof of concept. I have to show in my balance sheet sort of operations. This many customers I have served successfully, and I have lent and recovered. That's a track record. So until that time, I create my own track record. I have to basically depend on other resources until go to a formal lending mechanism. There are today, at least now, there are startup-focused lenders are there. It is much better when compared to earlier years, where it was much more difficult. That's what I'll say.
So, founders and startups, 3 years is like the gestation period you should be looking at. And if you have good numbers and ARR with a EBITDA positive, you probably can look at funding. We have the founder, Mr. Ram, who is working on these parameters, and we will also help you connect with him if someone is keen on it. Sir, what do you think is going to be the NBFC financial services, the wealth tech, and of course nowadays I see a lot of new concepts are coming in. Like I've been understanding that a lot of companies even give you a kind of payment for your salary. Suppose you are there in 15 days and you want money today. I was understanding a startup gives you that 15 days money to your bank account on a risk. And these kind of what are the new concepts which are coming in this industry, sir?
Basically, it's all the track record what you have been maintaining. So everything is based on your rating, so you have an individual rating of yourself, what your track record. So today the fintechs are able to access your financial track record and would like to give, they like to cash you early, and you can apply digitally a loan for yourself when you really need. And there are today large fintech companies who are willing to give you, buy a mobile, you buy something, they are able to, in a half an hour time, they will be able to give you what will be the scores are available for them, and give a loan instantly. It means in 30 minutes they can give an approval. And then, once, obviously, when you take a loan, you need to have maintain your track record. So then that's the whole game there. Once you keep a track record, you will get offers. And the important thing is, loan is available. Ensure that your track record is also maintained. That's the key there. Because money is available, you take, and there is a default there, it's very difficult you to get a next loan. So always ensure that taking loan is easy. Ensuring you pay on time and maintain your credit card is much more difficult. So be prudent. That's what my advice to people who are looking for this type of loans.
So we also are planning to get into peer-to-peer lending. I'm sure Ram sir knows about that as well. So that is something where you provide lending. But again, as sir has mentioned, it depends a lot of criteria like your CIBIL, your existing track record, your default record, and so many things. So, it basically works on a risk model where if your credit history is good, the chances for you to get a loan is much higher. If your credit history is, lower, probably, the chances are you might not get that kind of funding. Ram sir, is there anything which you believe the youngsters today, today youngsters are, they are flamboyant.
True.
I have in my teammate, my colleagues, some of my colleagues who flash an iPhone.
Right.
I don't own an iPhone. I'm a Samsung user. Some of my colleagues who are very young, they've started and they like to spend money. Do you think, is there any advice you would like to give them that, this is the way you should be working on your finance or on your money to make sure you have a good financial future?
Well, Nishi, aspirational is definitely fine, okay? As long as, you have backup and aspiring to own a leading iPhone, any other thing. But you also have to have a plan. As I said, I've been at the start of this discussion. You have a clear plan, like how much you will be able to repay that. And the critical thing is anything you finance it from the market, you need to maintain your track record. Be always, the track record is going to be the one which is going to be accessed by other competitors to see whether you can get a better offer. So my simple advice to the current generation is ensure that you aspire, no problem, but aspire within your reach. So basically have a plan. Okay, this is the X amount is what is your aspiration which is going to be there. Have a clear plan with 24 months and 36 months, what is it? And then as per the next aspiration can be beyond that period. So it will not be out of your bounds. So that's very important the advice to the current generation. Aspire within your limits. That's what my simple slogan.
So youngsters, don't get overboard, don't get into a peer pressure, manage your finances well, and make sure that you have your financial planning in place. Sir, any advice to the founders or the startups who intend to take more loans or they intend to take, liabilities to make sure they run the company for a certain period of time? What do you think? Is this a good idea? And if yes, what is the best way to get, funded?
See, Anish, it's the founders have the knack to run it, okay? So as far as my experience is concerned, it is a short-term mismatch, okay? It's say 6 months time. There is already something and agreed inflow is expected. So no problem in having a short-term borrowing and manage because obviously you are expecting some inflow. But you get into a mismatch saying that, you borrow short-term and you don't have any sight of the cash flow coming in, you're going to get into a trap. So it again, sometimes it's not that it's going to be a perfect world. So there obviously is a real mismatch. So how much extra mismatch you try to take a risk is what the promoter need to think. So if it is basically, depending upon the size of the company or the firm, they can take, say, a bet. Okay, this is how I'm going to take a risk, and you're able to manage the bet, it's fine. But when you take that bet, be conscious that that in case something goes wrong, what will be the backup? Once you're aware that this backup plan B is ready, I advise the promoters to take that short-term mismatch to fund from friends and relatives or from your own pocket. That's fine. But then obviously you should have something fund in sight before actually you do that. If you don't have something inside, it's going to be then you need to fund it through a sort of long-term funding as some sort of equity rather than going for short-term borrowings. That's how obviously promoters get caught in this mismatch. It's very difficult to come out on this. You have to keep funding these mismatches, and at some point our time funds will dry. Then it becomes difficult to manage that. So it's again, that's what I said in the initial part of the cash flow planning, and 3 months to an year. Let's eye on that is very key.
So that exactly is one of the challenge Wealth Munshi helps you solve. To get your cash flows in place via financial planning, we make sure you manage your money well via wealth management, and also make sure the money which you're creating for your next generation via succession plan is well taken care of. So what are the USP for your NBFC, and what problem are we trying to solve over there?
Yeah, basically, as I said, I had seen the microfinance industry grow for over last 2 decades. So there is a section which is emerging small business out of this industry. There are already large players there. We see that there are enough market for us, for Sarvagya to cater. So our USP is basically phygital form. We are using majority digital as well as physical form to have a touch and feel of the customer, So that we what to call the terminology is phygital is the USP for Sarvagya. So the customer also feel and touch as well as digital process to be in the competitive mode.
And what has been the problem we are trying to solve in this?
Yeah, basically, the problem we are trying to solve is to today we have seen this industry, the segment, small business segment is around 1,80,000 crores, and the NBFC has got surprisingly only 10% of the market. So 90% is still with banks, traditional banks. I see a lot of potential for NBFCs to be in this space. So I see even another 10% of this market is going to be a 18,000 crore market. So, and also there are customers emerging from the group loan to be a personal loan, individual loan. So one is the new customer coming into this market, and also the market is large enough. I see NBFC has a big role to play. That's one of the reasons why we want to be in this space.
Right. Sir, the Fintech, the Wealth Tech and all these places, as you were mentioning about the banks, how do you think cryptocurrencies and the likes are going to impact? And do you think that is still not legal in India? And do you think the government will take certain steps to legalize cryptocurrency and the future of banks?
You see, I'm not a big, fancy person of crypto to be start with, but I've been reading it. There are up and down in the crypto market. So government is not very keen to support that market as of now. Yes, they are keenly watching what's happening globally. Globally, things are happening. There are few bust and boom happening there. I'm sure in India there are leading players there. As once it stabilizes, probably that would be one sort of asset class it might emerge. Then traditional Indian market, once they support that, probably then only individuals can get it. So there should be asset managers who need to diversify into the asset class. Then probably the individual can go there. At present, my personal advice here is don't get into it until you know the business well. That's what.
So that's the advice from a 3-decade person experience in core finance, that cryptocurrency, hold on, wait and watch, and then you look at it. So last question, what advice you'd like to give to the startups and youngsters, on their proper asset allocation, on their investing, and to make sure they have a good financial future?
I would advise the current generation to have an advisor early in their career, but it was not in my case. It came much later. So they should have a financial advisor, a dependable financial advisor, and then basically get their advice. It's today in this volatile world, no point in taking risk on your own. Better transfer that risk to the financial advisor, Wealth Munshi type of people, and then take their informed advice, and that's what I would advise.
Very true. In fact, we have a few of the people we've onboarded. There are startups who just started a year. Some of them have taken up their first job and they wanted help. Over a period of time, we have seen some of the people who've come with their first job today are quite financially secured. There's a surprise that some of their seniors, their managers who are working their job also are our clients, and they actually have a much better wealth, a much better portfolio created because they started early. As Mr. Ram said, that starting early is the key, and making sure is someone like Wealth Munshi or someone else like this who guides you to make sure that all your finances for yourself, your family's goals, your startups are in place. Thank you so much, Ram, for your time.
Thank you so
and
much.
I wish you all the very best for your startup.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice meeting you.